Hello. It seems like so much more pressure when that countdown is on. I suppose used to be like when a song was ending on the computer screen, there'd be a 30-second countdown. Hey, good Monday. April's almost over. Goodness. And it sounds like rain continues today for a little bit anyway. And then again tomorrow night with thunder. By Wednesday, sunshine, upper 60s. Some are saying even 70. Hope you had a good weekend. Didn't have a whole lot here on our end, which is okay. I like that. I got a little more studying in. More on that for another time. And then also helped out my old friend and former colleague, Jay Roberts, and his wife, Susan. They have the roadside cleanup over by Litchfield in honor of their son, Caleb, and their Casting for Caleb Foundation. So on Saturday morning, we went out and picked up garbage along a 2-mile stretch on the north side of Litchfield. And if you missed my video, always a lot of cigarette butts, but everybody commented, and there were probably 15, 20 of us, a lot of Busch beer cans. Why Busch? As always, I like to interact with you. And if you're watching this live, when you comment, I can bring it up on the screen, whether it's about a story that I have or a question for me or something you'd like me to look into. Do it in the comments, and then I'll bring you up on the show. Last we spoke, my wife got back from Portland, Oregon. I had kind of set up the flights for her just because I have what do you call it? A subscription, I guess, a profile with the airline. And when I got her boarding pass, we didn't pay for a specific seat. I noticed on one leg of the flight, she was in the middle. I felt a little badly about that. Another one on the inside, which I like by the window, but I don't think she likes it there as much. Frontier Airlines has announced a new seating option that will provide customers with extra space and comfort during flights. They're all about your comfort these days. They're calling it Upfront Plus. And customers in those seats get a guaranteed window or aisle seat with extra legroom. In other words, a little closer to what legroom used to be about 10 years ago. And then, though, here's the bonus, an empty middle seat. Okay. I'm not seeing exactly what they're planning to charge for it. I do see that seats are only available in the first 2 rows of the aircraft. So 2, 4, 6, 8 people on a flight could upgrade to Upfront Plus. Thank you for your generous offer, Frontier Airlines. Anybody flown Frontier lately? There's a reputation, fair or unfair, but we've flown with them, and it was fine. She did Delta on the way out and Alaska Airlines on the way back. So what else? While she was gone, I told you I went to the Ministry of Ungentlemanly, like Henry Cavill, the main star there. I went with my brother-in-law. We both thought, well, our wives would have no interest in seeing that movie, so let's go together. Turns out, when I told her I went, oh, I really want to see that. I'm like, I'd go see it again. And she said, we could probably wait until it's available to stream. But big body count, it's a World War II thing, but it's told in a campy sort of fun way, believe it or not. I know. I really liked it. Now, somewhat related, remember the talk about movie seats costing more or less depending on where they are in the theater? To me, in a movie theater, it's not that big a deal. Some people like right in the middle. That's me. Some people like it up front. Some people. So who's to decide what's the best seat? Comment. Where do you like to sit in the movie theater? And then we'll see if that's worthy of charging any more for it. Just right here on the live comments, and I'll bring you in on the broadcast. But similarly, I'm reading now where Wendy's is planning on introducing surge pricing. Now, we don't have Wendy's anymore in Wilmer. We used to quite a while back. I think there's 2 in St. Cloud. But surge pricing means the items would cost more or less depending on factors like what time of day you place your order, depending on demand. I'm guessing 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon isn't as bad as 12 noon or say 6 p.m. And then another factor they mention is weather. I suppose they must know. Are people less likely to come out if there's a snowstorm? My wife and I are more likely to hop in a 4-wheel drive and go find some place to eat or have a beverage. Yeah. So I come to think of it, my very good friend used to own the DQ in Spicer. He loved it when it was sunny and 85, 90 degrees. I'm guessing they might have been able to charge more for an ice cream cone at that time than, say, on January 2nd. Wendy's are planning to invest approximately $20 million to roll out digital menu boards across the United States by next year. And that would make it easy for them to quickly change price depending on the time and the weather. They say, hey, it's already commonly used in hospitality, hotels. Darn right, the hotels are going to be a lot more when there's a big event going on, say in the cities or near a casino. Travel, entertainment, concerts, retail, public transport. Some say they run the risk of angering and losing customers since they actually have many choices, meaning transportation or hotels. What do you think? Would you pay more depending? I'm going to backtrack a little bit here for Christy. Love Alaska Air. They have that kind of seating plane, but it's the first 8 rows on most of theirs. With a husband 6'1", it was great going to Hawaii. My wife is out walking. She'll probably see this later, as most people do. I didn't want to point out that Alaska Airlines was the one coming into Portland where that door plug fell out. But you know what they say, the safest time to travel is after there's been an incident. So I didn't even bring that up. Sherry always sits in the middle of the theater and leave 1 or 2 empty seats at the end of the aisle. Well, that'd be ideal too. Yeah, if it's not full, if people weren't right by you. I'm with you on the middle, Sherry. In fact, when I saw the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I went to do it online. And so I picked one right in the middle. I told my brother-in-law, now, if you go on and do it online, I'm the one right behind the wheelchair seating and to the right. And there wasn't anybody else in the theater, so it didn't really matter. We're going to hop around a little bit here. Sherry, not fussy, but I like the window. I do too. I like to look, unless you're flying over clouds. I don't know if you happen to see, well, of course, I follow this page that is that tracks airplanes and when there's unusual behavior or an unusual aircraft. For instance, when we came home from MSP on Friday, I saw a helicopter, and I looked it up on an app, and it was a Black Hawk military helicopter near Howard Lake? Anyway, that neck of the woods. And it was doing like figure eights, swooping around, and you can track that on this app. And I wondered, well, maybe, that's a wooded area there. Maybe they were looking for someone or a dog or something. But anyway, I like to look out the window too. Good morning for those just joining. Offer up. We've already talked about your favorite place to sit on an airplane and or a movie theater. I got an interesting call. I guess that was also Friday. Ruth Ann Lee runs the Hollywood on Main in Montevideo, where most of you know I lived for a number of years. I remember when they relit that Hollywood on Main sign. I can't remember when that was. That's a long time ago. I think it was wintry, and they redid it, and it's beautiful. And now it's all, I guess, is it LED or neon? It's really cool. So I actually left a message. I called her back. She said, "Hey, really wanting to sell the Hollywood." I said, "Well, how can I help you with that?" She said, "Well, I didn't know what you're up to these days." I guess she was suggesting, would I want to buy it? You know, I'm not being in that town anymore, even if I was. I don't know. It is a cool facility. There's concerts. I used to host the Flood of Jazz down there. I think they still do that at the high school jazz band. And I think they've done plays in there. They've hosted wedding parties, birthdays, family reunions, class reunions, dances, and benefits. So I guess if you know of anybody, I told her, I said, well, I'll keep that in mind. If I hear of anybody looking for just such a venue as an opportunity, I'm afraid it probably wouldn't be me. So there you have it. You can look it up, Hollywood on Main. And then finally this morning, I mentioned in my teaser, who remembers the Pet Shop Boys? Comment a Pet Shop Boys song name. I know of two. To me, were they a two-hit wonder? I'll give you a chance. But they have a new album. It just dropped on Friday. It's called Nonetheless. They're calling it one of their most melodic from their 4-decade-long career, featuring songs about solitude and freedom and looking for the new Bohemia. I gave it a listen. I tried to do it so I could pull it through here. If I'm going to do that often, I'm going to have to figure out a way. It was just okay for me. You know, they were known for their electronic music. I'll tell you, nobody's West End Girls. West End Girls. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Sometimes you're better off dead. Gosh, was that 85, 86? And then, what have I done to deserve this? What have I? Okay, those are the two that I can come with. And, you know, and I did radio. Good morning. Good morning, Deb Van Buren. Deb, by the way, gave me a heads up last week that the Stingers were for their Bark in the Park night in July, had an opportunity to get your dog on their jersey. They're going to have a jersey featuring people's dogs. And I submitted Eddie, because it said you get tickets and, you know, one ticket for a dog. I thought, well, Eddie's the calm one. She'd be okay around people. I don't know if we could bring Hani or not. And they called me back, said, you won. Eddie's going to be on it. So we're going to go. I think it was limited. I think they were going to do 50 dogs. Whether they're still doing that, I guess you could look them up on Wilmer Stingers. That's their website, right? WilmerStingers.com. Anyway, as for the Pet Shop Boys, again, came out Friday. They were one time ranked by Billboard's Joel Whitburn in his book, The Hot Dance Disco, 1974 to 2003, as the 4th most successful act on the U.S. dance and club play charts, behind only Donna Summer, Michael Jackson, and Madonna. And you got Pet Shop Boys. Watch for it. If, you know, you're a fan of the 80s and the 90s, it's called Nonetheless. They got to be up there They got to be older than I am, if that's even possible. Yay for Eddie. Thank you, Deb. And Sherry says, morning, Tim, and everyone. Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm going to leave you to it. I know Monday's a scramble. Go have a good day, and I look forward to catching up to you again sometime soon.